If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option, as Sori says. $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed, and y'all shall leave there.
Yes, to buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. You must have noticed a little baby. The little baby on the side, that little baby, we're doing I was going to say baby shower. There's a baby registry because there's a villager who is with child, dear listener. Yep. You know how we are about babies.
A little tiny.
Click on the baby registry. 27 of you beautiful people have already contributed and made life a lot
Shout
better
out to you guys. That's awesome.
I'm not going to say they're a struggling family. They didn't even ask for help. But
but the thing is, we all know that babies are expensive, and all that stuff is expensive, and everything that you have to spend money on is like more money.
Yes.
And so any gift that somebody sends it's like hope. It's a good feeling, and it's a fun feeling. And back a couple years ago, it's been like 3 years now, when we were pregnant for Orion, the village threw a baby shower for us.
Yes.
And that was super cool. We did the registry, and then we opened up the gifts online.
Yeah.
Of course, Vin used the long, stretched out version, which made me look even more pregnant than pregnant. But but anyway, I was really, really blessed. In fact, we still have a lot of that stuff that you guys sent to us. And so, Pooh has survived all of it.
Won't go to sleep without Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, and that Duna car seat that you guys had gotten for us has just been unbelievable.
Yeah.
We've used it for every single kid. So she's got a registry, and anybody that can participate in that, it's awesome. It's encouraging when you start seeing those little gifts arrive, and you haven't bought them, and other people who don't even know you have cared enough to send the gift. And so what we decided to do, are we still doing that? The song?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so if normally a song is $125, but if you're like, hey, actually, I'd like to get something off the registry. Also, Nick, that applies to you too for your remainder, if you want to do that too. If you guys want to get stuff off the registry, and then you just send us an email with a picture of how much you spent on the registry, and that amount goes toward songs. So if you spend $75, let's say you're going to get a song, and normally your first 3 songs are $125, but if you do the registry, it's actually $75 for your song. So you can buy $75 of stuff for her, bless her with that, send us the picture of it, and we'll give you a free song. If it's $75, you get 1 free song. If it's $150, you get 2 free songs. So, let us know. Just send us an email, and we'll hook you up. This is everybody helping everybody to help the moms. We believe in life, and we support life, and we're gonna do what we can.
Where our mouth is. All right, guys, let's do this. Avenged Sevenfold.
The Harlot and the Beast.
Let's do it.
Actually, Beast and the Harlot.
The Beast and the Harlot. Let's do it, dear listener. Let's do it.
in jewels and gold, fine linen, pearl and pearls. A blaze will come all at once as the mourners watch her burn. Destroyed in an hour. Merchants and captains of the world, sailors, navigators too, will weep and mourn this loss with the sins bound to the sky. The beast in the harem. She's a dwelling place for demons. She's a cage for every unclean spirit, every filthy bird, and makes us drink from poison wine to fornicating with our knees. Falling now is bound the grace.
So we had the official here going on side a little bit. These girls are in rough shape, man. Woo. You saw that when she signed the contract and then it like went into her fingers, turned all black. Yeah.
Why she got to turn black though?
Yeah, why she got to turn black though? So this was funny. Like, you know,
I'm
like
blown away by
Ghost.
this song.
You know, Ghost will like take a
That's
serious.
exactly what I said. Go ahead, say it.
So they like take a serious subject and then kind of make it sound like upbeat
yeah,
and
like a poppy, like
yeah. Mm-hmm. And so this one, it basically had it sounded a lot like Revelation.
What
Look
do
at
you
this.
mean?
The kid ate the candy and was watching this stuff, and then all of a sudden he's turning black too.
It was definitely it was Revelation 18.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of the lyrics were, almost direct quotes.
Yeah.
A lot of lyrics were like direct quotes from Revelation 18, and people, I think like because he was kind of sing-songy.
That's why we laughed, Ian, was because it's talking about some horrible events. Like, obviously, a lot of Revelation, we believe, is what happened during 70 AD. And, like, the stuff that happened in Jerusalem under siege was just absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
And so we have the backdrop of that. Like, here you have, like, this one guy, he burns all. They would have been able to live in there for multiple years because they had all stuff, but he wanted them to fight, so he burned up all their food.
He burned all their granary.
Yeah, all their
reserve.
People are dying inside the city. Like, people are starving in there. Like, it got really, really freaking scary. And like there was a woman, she ate her own child. All this is recorded historically. It's a really, really messed up situation. So you have this horrible event, and then they put it to these happy poppy lyrics, and it was
Well,
just
the other thing is,
funny.
I'm not sure that people realize how closely to Revelation 18 this song was.
Oh, yeah.
The
It's like
chorus, for example,
unbelievable.
She's a dwelling place for demons, and every unclean bird is literally like word for word
Yeah.
taken from Revelation 18, describing Babylon the Great.
Yeah.
So when it talks about the sailors that are mourning for her, and then the wine of her adulteries, all of that is in Revelation chapter 18. So he basically camped out in Revelation chapter 18 and then made a song about it. What's ironic is that the chorus is in this sing-songy, happy type of thing, which I think was done on purpose, because Babylon the Great is this externally beautiful city with all these, you know, diamonds and gold and purple and all the rest of it. But inside of it, it was terror. It was horror. Like we talked about, like how terrifying that time period must have been for those people.
Yeah.
And there was no doubt that
Where were
the
you
city,
listening to Wars of the Jews?
Yeah,
and that
Wars
was,
of the
it was
Jews,
friggin'
Josephus.
ridiculous. Like
the
just
city
listening to this
was
stuff. It's like,
full of demons. Like even if you didn't believe in demonology, the shit that was happening to people, you would have been pretty crazy.
I used this song to study for a Revelations English quiz.
Yeah, I mean, it really...
It was very accurate.
Yeah, and it makes... It's brilliant to sing such horrible lyrics in such a sing-songy way, because if you're not paying attention, if you're just a shallow listener, you're like, oh, this is a nice,
Then you
happy
fall
song.
for the exact thing that the people of the city
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
nice.
Oh,
yeah.
this is this nice, happy song.
Yeah.
But then when you go a little deeper, you go, holy shit, this is terror.
Right.
And if
right.
you'd have been on the
There's
outside
demons in
looking
there.
into Jerusalem, you'd be like, oh, this is an amazing city. Even the Romans, even the pagans. As a matter of fact, Titus Vespasian was doing his best to try to save Jerusalem. Actually.
Right. Oh, I know. Yeah.
And he was trying to save the temple. He's like, look, we'll fuck you guys up. Let's just go over here and fight. Don't fight by the temple of your God. What are you guys doing? And they refused because they were full of demons. But
Unbelievable.
so like the way that he did it, I thought people were like, yo, it doesn't match. Like, yeah, bro. Like
It matches perfectly.
It's Babylon the Great. I mean, I don't know how long I want to talk. I mean, this would be like 19 hours. We'll never get done. But Babylon, essentially, realistically and metaphorically in Scripture, represents humanity at its peak with technology and art and sophistication outside of God. So Augustine had this sort of concept of the city of God versus the city of man.
Okay.
And so you had, you know, the city of God, which is represented by Babylon, and then you've got the city of man, which is represented by Babylon and human achievement, and Babel, let's build a tower up to the gods so we can manipulate and control the gods. And then you had Zion, which is God's answer to Babel, which is God comes down to dwell with people. God can't be manipulated. He has to come down to us. We don't go up to him, which is Babel. He comes down to us, which is the temple. So Jerusalem or Zion is God's answer to Babel, where you have human ingenuity and all this stuff outside of God, away from God. So it's when human beings say, we don't need you, and we will have you, but we will control you. So the sciences, the arts, all the rest of it, it's sort of like a human word, we're going to bring glory to ourselves type of thing. And then Zion is this thing where you have art, science, literature, all that stuff, but God is in the center of it, and so we're doing it because we're image bearers of God and we're representing him on the earth. So you got these two kind of warring cities all throughout the Old Testament and then into the New Testament, et cetera, et cetera. And the irony is that the natural Jerusalem becomes Babylon. Like the Jerusalem like that's on the earth becomes Babylon, and then there becomes a new Jerusalem which is in heaven, which is also described ironically as a woman. Right? So you know, Paul says in Galatians 4, the Jerusalem below is in slavery with her children, but the Jerusalem above is free, and she is our mother. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much to this song, and you know, I'm just gonna give the Reader's Digest version because no one wants to sit here for 4 hours. But it's very, very fascinating, because then you get to Revelation, and you have the whore of Babylon versus the bride, you know, of Christ.
Right.
And it's basically old Jerusalem versus New Jerusalem.
Yep.
Or you have, the beast versus the lamb. You have the dragon versus God. You have so there's just a lot of oppositional concepts of war happening in Revelation, and the good guys are in the spiritual realm, and the bad guys are basically in the earthly realm, and so there's a battle between gods and men basically in the book of Revelation. So really, really, really fascinating stuff. But yeah, I mean. We believe that when it's talking about all this stuff in Revelation 18, it's actually talking about Jerusalem and the destruction of Jerusalem that happened between April of 67 all the way to June of 70 AD, I think it was. But go ahead, what were you saying?
Well, when you were talking about it, a couple things like sidetracked me. One is, you think there's a connection between the Tower of Babel and Babylon? In a spiritual sense, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other question was, when they said like, let's make a tower up, and then God said, well, if they do this, then nothing will be impossible for them.
Yeah.
Like, do you think this is going to be really like out there, kind of bizarre-ish, but if there really is like other intelligences out there, let's say that there really are aliens out there, and that was what they were trying to get to, wouldn't that be crazy?
They were trying to get to those beings, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I completely believe that. For sure. For sure.
Have you ever said that before?
I don't know. Probably.
When you said it this time, like, all of a sudden I thought of that, and I was
again,
oh, that's creepy.
When you say aliens, I mean, for me, it's, it was like that documentary we're watching on Showtime where this woman from the New York Times basically said, she was quoting JP2 and the UFO phenomena, or the UAP phenomena, where you have these unidentified flying vehicles that are defying the law of science, laws of physics.
Yeah.
You got these doing ridiculous 90-degree turns at Mach 9 or whatever, which is, just impossible.
Yeah.
And so, like, she was saying, one would be these are super intelligent, folks that know how to make craft that can sustain Mach 9 and survivable and all the rest of it. And then she said another thing is to say that what we think we're seeing is being manifested by beings who understand that we cannot function in the categories that their reality actually functions in, and so they present themselves in such a way as for us to be able to understand what's happening. So
weird, yeah.
So it's interesting. I was watching the Lex Friedman show, and it was a guy from Stanford or Yale. He was talking about, he believes that they're absolutely alien, what we call alien civilizations or whatever. He believes absolutely that they are. And so they were going back and forth into that, because he was a mathematician or something. He was talking about the odds. What are the odds? Yeah. And so he was saying, it's impossible that there are not other intelligent life forms in the. But
Okay.
he said, look, if you look at human evolution, we were in the jungle or whatever it was, and so they showed up as the spirits of the jungle. Then we got sophisticated with religion. So then they showed up as gods, and now we're sophisticated because we're all postmodernists and we're all so smart now. So now they're showing up in sophisticated scientific vehicles, but they're the same being. It's the same beings that have been doing this since the beginning.
So they're not technically advancing. They were already advanced, and then they just project themselves in ways.
They're just projecting themselves to us in a way that we can apprehend. Because if we saw them in their raw essence, we wouldn't be able to even, I mean, who knows if they're even visible to the human eye? There's so many colors on the spectrum we can't even see with the naked human eye. So who says that they're visible in the sense that we think of visibility in the first place? Everything's got to be some sort of manifestation then. So there're just so many, like you've got to have a body because there are things in the physical world that you want to affect. So you need a body in order to accomplish that. But if you're able to cognitively accomplish all of those things without a physical body, then what would you need it for? So you see what I'm saying? Like, that's where he's going. So and I completely and totally believe that, because the line between saying this is a super advanced being, a super evolved being, and saying this is an angel, to me, is indistinguishable. What's the difference? If you say that there's a disembodied consciousness that is so powerful that it can affect the physical world without being physical, you've just described an angel. You just use scientific language.
Right.
Or if you say there's dark intelligences that have that are so advanced beyond us that they can project themselves into what we think is real, you've just described the demon.
Yeah.
So who cares?
Very interesting.
You know, it's like, oh, dimethyltryptamine. You know, it's like, or
Creepy
the sacred root. Like, you're describing the same thing, but now because you're so prideful and you're such a a chronological snob that you think, oh, we're so much more intelligent than those backwoods people over there. So you're not going to call it an angel. You're going to call it a disembodied entity that blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, I believe all that shit. I believe all that. But the song is amazing. The song is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. It was it was funny. Like, I wonder if this would have been acceptable in some churches. Because it's so accurate, you know?
I know.
I'm going to give this one a 9.1.
This is a 9.2. I really, really, really like the song. It was really, really good.
9.2 for Vinny, 9.1. Hey, we had basically the same score on
Pretty
that one.
much the same score on that
so
one.
I guess, you were right this time.
There you are, dear listener. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Go.